Yes, what you're saying should be base boxing basement right here. Yeah, we got some problems here, man. We got some problems here. Okay. Now, David Dubois, aka David Dubum, aka the Triple Bum, whatever, whatever you want to call him. You know, obviously he's risen above that station, the bum station, amazingly. But that's what you get when you're on the new PE dish. By the way, look at his knuckles. And look, you see all those big white marks on his knuckles? Apparently they're because his dad made him do 5,000 press-ups as a kid. Now, that's impossible, right? I know there's one guy who's like a major fitness freak and he's an adult and he does 1,000 in a row, but 5,000 in a day as a boy, come on. And that's why he's got all these ever-changing big, growths on his knuckles. That is HGH abuse, just like Gay Jay's knuckles, which he claims happened during street fights. Yeah, right. As if a huge buck like that, how many people did you have to knock out to get that many scars on your hands? I mean, as a huge buck doing that, you'd be killing people in the street. And you would be nicked, not just for the wheeze. It's obviously BS. Anyway, the problem is with Dubois. Yeah, so it's just been released. It's just been released by Ring magazine, obviously owned by Turki al-Sheikh, so we can consider it a reliable source of information. You get me? And what is it? Well, disappointingly, Daniel Dubois, the huge buck, overseer, the trader, the overseer, the owner, Clyde Candy, Frank Warren, Frank Warren's big man dingo buck is apparently ill. Apparently he's ill. Now these are rumors at this stage, but there's definitely something going on. Things like that don't just come out of Turki al-Sheikh's Ring magazine. Okay? And it's come out in articles now. People have caught on to it. He's allegedly feeling sick and been evaluated by a doctor. I'm sorry, if you're feeling sick, what is it, Thursday today? 2 days before a fight, you're not fighting. You're not fighting. They're looking for a replacement, okay, against Parker. Now, I'm assuming, I bet it'll end up being for some IBF interim title. Do they have interim titles at IBF? If they don't, they'll invent one because they want their cut of the purse. You got to understand, this is how the World Boxing organizations get money. They get a cut of the purses. So they don't want to lose out on Daniel Dubois' fight. So they'll give it interim championship. That's why all these things exist. It's not because, we don't want the championship to stagnate. That's nonsense. That's what normies think, blue pillars. It's because they simply want more money. More money, more problems. Okay? So it's the same thing with the British Boxing Board of Control, not wanting to find, when big fighters, get in trouble and all that, they generally get treated lightly, with drugs because they want their money. Because the British Boxing Board of Control take a cut. And they got over £1 million in the bank. They're a private limited company. A bunch of secret society wrong-uns. Yeah, whereas a guy like Liam Cameron, I'm a bit sick of his sob story too, but that's why you got 4 years for a tiny bit of yayo. Anyway, so what's happened, right? Three options are being considered allegedly. They include, it says three, okay, this is the press release. The sources advise a ring of a rumoured 3 options being considered. These options include former world champion Lawrence Okoli, contender David Alilay, and undefeated Murad Aliyev. Well, what do you mean include? That is 3. These people don't know how to write. There are 3 rumoured options being considered. These include. Well, you've given us 3. So those are the 3 options. So they don't include. They are Okoli, Alilay, or Murad Aliyev. Okay? Now, obviously, Okoli and Adelaide were meant to be in action in Manchester, England, on April the 25th. Will they be in shape? Well, it depends on them. Some people, not if they're Ricky Hatton style fighters. This guy Aliyev, you might say, who is he? Well, he won a silver, 2019 European Games, representing France. I think he's originally from Russia, right? Yeah, and he was thrown out in the 2020 Olympics for headbutting Fraser Clark. That's kind of funny. But he represented France, but I believe he's of Russian origin. He's a dangerous fighter. He would be the most dangerous fighter out of those lot. Okoli's only just moved up. I think he might have a future heavyweight just because he's very big. His frame fits it. But he's also a coward, so maybe not. Adelaide has already been served up by Fabio Wardley, but then, when you're a huge buck, a huge Mandingo buck heavyweight, muscular, and you bang people out, there's always fights for you. Believe that, Believe that. So Adelaide has come back by smoking Solomon Dakers within a round. So you know, there ain't no problem with that. The best one, Okoli. I mean, Okoli is the former double world champion at cruiserweight and bridgerweight, undefeated at bridgerweight. Yeah, he knocked out some 40-year-old bum called Rosinski, who knocked out an even bigger bum called Babic, the cabbage, in a round, and Okoli knocked out Rosinski in a round. Anyway, so who's the best out of that lot? Well, it's got to be Aliev. Let's have a look at his record, right? Let's have a look at his record and see what he's got. So the one Chuck B most likes. You know, by the way, yes, I am allowed to talk about myself in the third person. I don't usually like this kind of thing. Like, people say, Ricky Hatton wants to do. Lennox Lewis will do what Lennox Lewis is best for, what, taking out the battle hole. But forget about that. By his boyfriend Glenn or Brian or whatever his name was. But blood clot, my recording just switched off by itself. Not because it's happened before. iPhone products can be dodgy. Well, I just lost 10 minutes of chat. Anyway, I have to shorten it, right? Anyway, so the rumoured replacements are Lawrence Okoli, David Adelaide, and Murad Aliev. Now, it all depends what kind of, shape they're in. Aliev boxed in December against Davide Brito. And I'm meeting the guy, KO'd him in 6. This guy has had a international career. And I mean that in many ways, right? His nationality is French, but he was born in Russia, Moscow, Russia. But he's now resident in Germany. He fought in the Olympics, right? So he's got an international career, right? He got DQ'd against Fraser Clark for biting him in the quarterfinals. No, sorry, it's not for biting him. Excuse me, sorry. Headbutting Fraser Clark, which is quite funny. And he'd beaten Clark before, but this guy has got 13 wins, 10 by the big way of KO. He hasn't fought anyone like at the top level. Dilan Prazovic he killed in 3, and Dylan's been knocked out by everyone, I think, in the first round. Okoli knocked him out in the first round. Isaac Chamberlain knocked him out in the first round, so that's, he hasn't really got many names. Davide Brito was unbeaten at least, but, he gave up 40 pounds. But he's got that amateur pedigree, okay? And that's why I have him as the favoured one to step in. Because Okoli is obviously up for Reactpool on the 25th of April. So you'd expect him to be, he should be in half shape at least by now. Okoli, And Okoli's a double world champion. Double 2-weight world champion. Yeah, bridgerweight and cruiserweight. He never defended. He's undefeated at bridgerweight. He had one fight. KO'd Lukas Rozanski, the fat, drunken Polish bum. I mean, admittedly, Rozanski was unbeaten and could punch, actually, and he banged out the even bigger bum, Alan the Cabbage Babic, in one round. And remember, I told my guys to put money on that at 14-1. If you took it, well done. If you didn't take it, well, you need to listen sometimes. And then he moved up heavyweight and suddenly weighed 260. And he beat Hussein Mohammed in the first round. I remember I banged on that. As soon as I saw Mohammed, I was like, man, this guy, even though he's only had one loss and 18 wins, he's going to get banged. Because Okoli, if he's confident, can punch and he'll bang you out. He's got those broad shoulders, long arms. I've never seen a cruiserweight so big. Maybe Johnny Nelson. Okay? So he's slated to fight Reactpool on the 5th of April. What am I talking about? The 5th of April. So he should be in camp by now. But obviously not at his peak. And this is the problem. How fit are these guys going to be? Adelaide's on the same card, right? Adelaide. I have Adelaide the least. I'd say the one I'd least like to see fight Parker. Why? Well, in terms of styles, Adelaide goes for to KO. He's a violent. He's been knocked out once by Fabio Wardley, who is world class. But apart from that, he hasn't fought in world class. Okay, he wiped out Solomon Dakers in his last fight. In 120. He's fighting that Jamie, who can't spell TSK or whatever his name is, in 10. He would wipe him out as well, by the way. So in some ways Adelaide would be exciting. You're getting a guy who's going to come in and bang 13 wins, 12 KOs, one loss, one by KO by Fabio. But there's no disgrace in that. Fabio's violent, accurate, fast, powerful. So I got no problem with that. Adelaide, as a amateur, didn't really do much of any interest. So I thought he'd won the ABA, but it looks like I'm wrong. But I can't see that on his record on BoxRec. But when you ever get a huge Mandingo buck like that with big muscles, you can bang. And he goes for it. Yeah, it's gonna be an exciting fight. Excuse me. So, whereas Okoli, if he's in hugging mode, is one of the worst fighters to watch. Imagine watching him for 15 rounds. Thank goodness for 12-round fights. But when he's confident, he can bang. He can bang. Lawrence, as I said, I think, in terms of a cruiserweight, he was massive, broad shoulders, long arms, but he was a coward, But when he's in the mood, he can really bang. And he knocked out Hossein Mohammed in a round, Lucas Rozansky in a round, which is bridgeweight, but technically heavyweight if you don't recognize that division. So at least he's had 2 fights at that level, but. If you get the hugging and Coley, I don't want to see that. I'd rather watch Adelaide. But the guy I really want is Aliev. Let's see what happens. Maybe Dubois will mysteriously recover. And here's a quick video of Dubois. And he looked pretty well when he must have fallen ill overnight. But, Now, that is one powerful buck, Mandingo buck. You imagine if there's, what's his name? Was it Calvin Candy, Leo DiCaprio, and Django Unchained? Yeah, a.k.a. Frank Warren. Fish eyes would be rubbing his hands seeing his massive buck. We're going to make some money out of that buck. It's huge, powerful. He looks big and strong, but So anyone could fall ill overnight, I guess. I still find it highly suspicious. Highly suspicious. Maybe he got dropped in sparring. Maybe he, who knows? I find it highly suspicious when people pull out of some kind of virus or whatever, illness, right before the fight. Especially when they've been pitched on the pads, smashing it up like that. It's actually quite hard to fall ill. Think about when's the last time you felt really badly ill? It's not often. And he's in Saudi, you're not in the UK in some freezing cold, waiting to catch a cold, it's like when people ring in sick in work, like 90% of the time they're just hungover, right? Oh, they're not in the mood for work. Oh, I'm really ill. Oh, I better stay in bed and try and shake this illness off. And then the next day they're completely fine. You know what I'm saying, man? But what can you say? Or they use that classic trick. Oh, my child's really ill. I can't come in. Because then you can't dispute it if they got a kid. I know a man. He said, I've never taken a single day off ill. And I'm proud of that. He goes, however bad I felt. To be honest, he's got good genetics. He's not, he don't fall ill in that. But, he's had times when he's gone abroad to business meetings in Kazakhstan and they do these shots, endless shots. Because every single person on the table, if there's 20 people, believe that amount. So takes a shot. You get me? Takes a shot and it has to give, what is it? A toast. They have to toast. So they do 20 shots of vodka before they even carry it with dinner. And then he's like, I've never felt so rough, but I had to get up and went to work because everyone else was caught, calling in sick and trying to get out of meetings, but I was there. So, obviously this is different. It's heavyweight boxing, right? But still, you're very suspicious of these last minute pullouts. It usually means there's something mental or something else going on. So we'll see. I hope Dubum fights, because that's the best fight. Parker vs. Dubum. If that doesn't happen, Parker vs. Aliev, and it'll be some interim title. Obviously, some whack interim title, so that the IBF don't lose their sanctioning fees. You know what I'm saying? That's how corrupt boxing is. It's all about the money. Well, everything's about the money, unless you actually have morals. I ain't never ripped anyone off for money. I've been the victim of scams, though. And I'm going after these people. Believe that. Legally. Believe that. Peace in that Middle East.